You try to talk to a girl and she acts like she is the prize. She ignores you, looks past you, maybe even looks down on you. Her tone is dismissive. Her energy says you are not on her level. And suddenly you feel smaller than you were 5 minutes ago. You start questioning yourself. Am I not tall enough? Not good-looking enough? Not rich enough? Not impressive enough? Relax. What you are experiencing is not random. It is not mystical. It is not a curse placed on you by fate. It is a pattern, and patterns can be understood. Once they are understood, they can be navigated. Once they are navigated, they can be mastered. From the moment a beautiful woman steps outside her home, she enters a competition she did not consciously create but fully benefits from. Dozens of men notice her. Some stare. Some approach. Some send messages. With social media and dating apps, those dozens become hundreds. Notifications, likes, comments, invitations, compliments, every single day, every direction, constant validation. Over time, this does something subtle but powerful. It inflates her sense of value. Not because she is evil, not because she is arrogant by nature, but because human psychology adapts to repeated reinforcement. If the world keeps telling someone they are special, desirable, wanted, rare, they will eventually believe it. Her walk changes. Her posture shifts. Her chin lifts slightly higher. Her eyes begin to say, "I am the prize." And if you approach her already unsure of yourself, already seeking approval, already hoping she chooses you, she will feel it instantly. And she will respond accordingly. The real problem you are facing is not her beauty. It is not her ego. It is not her social media following. The real problem is that you do not fully understand how dating works. No one handed you a manual. No one sat you down and explained the psychological dynamics between men and women. Most of what you absorbed came from movies, romantic cliches, social media advice, and surface-level motivational talk. It sounds good, it feels good, but it collapses in real interactions. You cannot solve a problem unless you understand its root. The main reason you struggle with women is not your looks, your money, or your status. It is your lack of understanding of the system you are operating in. Once you understand the system, confusion fades, emotion decreases, strategy replaces desperation. Dating feels chaotic when you zoom in too close. When you step back, it becomes structured. Think about your city. Thousands of men, thousands of women. Expand that to your country, then to the world. When you view dating from that height, it stops feeling personal and starts looking like a marketplace. A marketplace operates on value, scarcity, supply, and demand. Dating is no different. These are not rigid rules written by society last year. These are patterns shaped by evolution over millions of years. Human beings survived, reproduced, and selected partners long before dating apps existed. Our instincts today are ancient. When you unknowingly fight against those instincts, you experience frustration and rejection. You think the game is broken. You think it is unfair. But when you align yourself with underlying patterns, effort decreases and attraction feels natural rather than forced. At its most basic level, dating exists because of reproduction. Everything else, romance, poetry, candlelight dinners, is layered on top of that biological core. Men and women evolved different strategies to fulfill that instinct. Early men could increase their genetic success through quantity. The biological cost of reproduction for men was low. For women, it was extremely high. Pregnancy was risky, time-consuming, and required protection and resources. Because of that, women evolved to be selective. Their survival depended on choosing carefully and rejecting most options. Modern society has changed technology, but it has not rewired biology. Our brains still operate on ancient programming. Men are still driven to pursue. Women are still driven to filter and select. This creates tension. It also creates structure. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. Men are the gatekeepers of commitment. This dynamic explains much of what confuses you. Women often use intimacy as a way to evaluate seriousness. Is he invested? Is he stable? Will he stay? Men often use the promise of commitment to access intimacy. This exchange is not moral or immoral. It is biological and psychological. In this marketplace, sex and commitment function like currencies. Each side trades what it controls to obtain what it desires. Problems begin when one side gives away its currency too cheaply. As a man, your primary currency is commitment, and most men undervalue it severely. Commitment has levels. The first level is attention and approval, your time, your focus, your validation. When you give these freely to a woman who has done nothing to earn them, you are handing out commitment at a discount. The second level is non-exclusive dating. The third is exclusivity. The fourth is marriage. Each level increases in weight. Most ego problems happen before the second level even begins. Why? Because men give away level 1 without restraint. They see an attractive woman and immediately start praising her looks. They agree with everything she says. They flood her with attention. They lower themselves in subtle ways, hoping she will choose them. In doing so, they inflate her ego and decrease their own value. They communicate, without words, that she is above them and that their approval is easy to obtain. Your attention is not free. It is valuable. Just as you are not entitled to her body, she is not entitled to your time, focus, or validation. These must be earned through mutual investment. When your attention is selective, it gains weight. When it is given freely to anyone who is attractive, it becomes meaningless. Scarcity creates value. Restraint creates status. Now consider what happens when you interact with a woman whose ego is already high from constant validation. She may test you. She may ignore you briefly. She may respond slowly. She may challenge your opinions. She may subtly try to see where you place yourself in the hierarchy. Most men react in one of two incorrect ways. The first reaction is submission. They become overly agreeable. They soften their voice. They try to impress. They over-explain. They laugh nervously. They seek reassurance. This confirms her belief that she is above them. The second reaction is aggression. They attempt to put her in her place. They insult her. They challenge her ego directly. They become hostile or sarcastic. On the surface, this can look confident, but it is still reactive. It shows that her behavior moved them emotionally. Both reactions surrender power. The correct response is neither submission nor aggression. It is internal elevation. You place yourself on equal or higher footing in your own mind, not verbally, not theatrically, internally. Success with women is largely a state of mind. She feels what you feel. If you feel inferior, she senses superiority. If you feel centered, grounded, and unmoved, she senses stability. In every interaction, there is an unspoken game. Who backs down first? Who justifies first? Who seeks approval first? The moment one person surrenders their internal position, the dynamic is set. Surrender looks like panicking when her tone changes. It looks like over-explaining a simple opinion. It looks like hesitating because you fear rejection. It looks like retreating emotionally to protect your ego. The moment you do this, she feels it. And when she feels it, she gains leverage. People respect what they cannot intimidate. When a woman senses that her approval does not control you, and her disapproval does not shake you, she assigns higher value to you automatically. Status is communicated through emotional stability. Imagine you say, "That author is my favorite." She replies, "He doesn't know what he's talking about." A low-value reaction is immediate defense. You justify your preference. You explain why she is wrong. You try to win her agreement. A higher value reaction is calm indifference. Interesting. I still enjoy his work. And you move on. No tension, no emotional spike, no need for validation. The moment you justify yourself excessively, you communicate that her opinion holds more weight than your own. When you remain steady, you communicate internal authority. High status is implicit. It is not announced. It is felt. Non-reactive communication is one of the most powerful tools you can develop. If she criticizes your style, you can respond with, "Thanks for the suggestion," and continue the conversation normally. If she compliments you, you can say, "I appreciate it," and continue. No overexcitement, no dismissal, just grounded acknowledgement. When she sees that praise does not inflate you, and criticism does not deflate you, she draws a conclusion. You are stable. Grounded men are rare. Stability signals confidence. Confidence signals value. You are not trying to impress her. You are not trying to dominate her. You are not trying to win. You are simply expressing yourself without fear. In a world where she receives endless compliments and endless attention, the man who stands out is not the loudest or flashiest. It is the man who values his attention, holds his frame, and does not surrender his inner position. Understand the marketplace. Respect your currency. Do not blink first. Communicate without reacting. And most importantly, apply this. Knowledge without action changes nothing. The shift happens when your behavior aligns with your understanding, when your attention becomes selective, when your validation becomes earned, when your emotional state remains stable regardless of her response. That is when the dynamic changes, not because you broke her ego with force, but because you stopped feeding it. And when you stop feeding inflated validation, what remains is genuine interaction between two grounded individuals. That is where real attraction begins. Once you begin to internalize this, something shifts in the way you walk into interactions. You are no longer approaching a woman as a contestant trying to win a prize. You are walking in as a man evaluating whether she deserves access to you. That subtle shift alone changes your tone, your eye contact, your pacing, and your emotional reactions. Most men never reach this point because they are focused on being chosen. They obsess over what to say, how to text, how long to wait before replying, how to impress her friends, how to stand out from the crowd of men in her inbox. But the man who truly understands the dynamic is not trying to outcompete every other man. He is disqualifying himself from the competition entirely by refusing to play from a position of need. Neediness is the silent killer of attraction. It is not loud. It is not obvious. It hides behind politeness, overinvestment, and constant availability. When you rearrange your schedule for someone you barely know, when you double text because she hasn't replied, when your mood changes based on how quickly she responds, you are communicating that her attention is scarce to you. Scarcity increases value. If her attention feels rare to you, you treat it as gold. But if your attention feels rare to her, she begins to treat it the same way. This is why emotional self-control is not optional. It is foundational. If she takes hours to respond, you do not spiral. If she cancels once, you do not panic. You observe, you adjust, you match energy. If she invests more, you invest more. If she pulls back, you pull back, not out of spite, but out of balance. Balance is power. There is a principle at play here that most men ignore. Whoever is more emotionally invested in the early stages has less leverage. When you rush ahead emotionally, imagining the future, fantasizing about exclusivity, projecting significance onto small interactions, you tip the scale. She feels that weight. And when she feels that you are already attached before she has earned it, her attraction often drops. Mystery is not about playing games, it is about pacing. Let her discover you gradually. Let her earn access to your deeper thoughts, your vulnerabilities, your long-term plans. If you reveal everything in the first week, there is no tension, no curiosity, no unfolding process. Attraction thrives in space. Desperation suffocates it. You must also understand the importance of standards. Standards are not demands. They are quiet boundaries. If she disrespects you, you do not argue extensively. You do not lecture. You simply reduce access. If she consistently flakes, you stop prioritizing her. If she shows low interest, you mirror that level instead of trying to compensate. Men often believe they can negotiate attraction through effort. They think, if I just try harder, she'll see my value. But attraction is not negotiated. It is felt. And feelings respond to perceived value, not forced persuasion. When you overextend yourself to convince someone of your worth, you imply that your worth is questionable. A man who knows his value does not chase validation. He offers presence. If it is appreciated, he continues. If it is not, he redirects his energy elsewhere. This is abundance mentality in action. Abundance does not necessarily mean you are dating 10 women at once. It means you understand that no single woman determines your worth. It means rejection does not shake your identity. It means you see options in the world rather than fixating on one person as your only chance. Ironically, the less you cling, the more attractive you become. Now consider how this plays out in conversation. She might test you with subtle remarks. You're awfully confident. Or, you must say that to every girl. These are probes. She is assessing your stability. If you immediately defend yourself, no, I don't. I'm serious. You fail the test. You are seeking approval. A grounded response might be a calm smile, and you're free to think that. Then you continue the interaction without tension. You are not trying to convince. You are not trying to win. You are expressing and allowing her to respond as she chooses. Another common scenario, she mentions other men giving her attention. Many men react with jealousy or subtle competition. They try to outshine invisible rivals. But when you understand the marketplace, you already expect that she has options. Of course she does. An attractive woman will always have attention available. Competing directly lowers your status because it signals insecurity. Instead, you focus on your lane. You build connection through shared experience, humor, depth, and emotional stability. You let other men compete for validation while you remain centered. Detachment is powerful, not coldness, not indifference, but healthy detachment. You enjoy the interaction without clinging to the outcome. You invite, you do not beg. You suggest, you do not pressure. If she declines respectfully, you accept it gracefully. Grace under pressure communicates strength more loudly than any boast ever could. And here is something most men overlook. Your life outside of dating determines your attractiveness within it. If you lack purpose, discipline, or direction, you will subconsciously seek fulfillment through women. That pressure is felt. When a woman senses that she is your main source of excitement or validation, it creates imbalance. But when you have goals, routines, ambitions, friendships, and responsibilities, she enters a full life. She is not the center. She is an addition. That position is far more attractive. It signals that your world does not revolve around her approval. You cannot fake this. You can mimic behaviors temporarily, but long-term stability requires real substance. Work on your body. Improve your finances, develop social skills, read, learn, build, not solely to impress women, but to elevate yourself. Women respond to men who are moving somewhere with intention. When your internal world is solid, her ego cannot destabilize you. You see it for what it is, a byproduct of constant validation, not a measure of superiority. Remember, breaking her ego does not mean humiliating her. It means refusing to inflate it artificially. It means interacting as an equal, or from a place of calm internal authority. When you stop placing her on a pedestal, she often steps down naturally. There is also a deeper layer to this. Many men subconsciously place beautiful women above them because of cultural conditioning. Media portrays them as prizes to be won. Songs glorify their attention. Society reinforces their desirability. Over time, you internalize the belief that being chosen by one validates you. But validation built on external selection is fragile. Real confidence is self-generated. It does not spike when she texts and crash when she doesn't. It remains steady. When you embody that steadiness, something interesting happens. Conversations flow more naturally. You tease lightly without fear. You hold eye contact without flinching. Silences no longer feel threatening. You are comfortable in your own skin. Comfort is contagious. If she tries to provoke a reaction and receives none, she recalibrates. If she expects you to chase and you don't, she reconsiders. If she senses that her beauty alone is not enough to secure your full attention, she may begin investing more to earn it. Investment builds attachment. When she invests time, effort, emotion, she values the connection more. Your role is not to force this. It is to create space for it by not over-investing prematurely. Think of it like a scale. If you put all the weight on your side immediately, the balance is lost. But if you allow her to add weight gradually, the scale stabilizes. Mutual effort creates mutual respect. You must also accept that not every woman will respond positively. Some will remain dismissive, some will prefer men who chase aggressively. Some will not align with your energy at all. That is fine. Selectivity goes both ways. The goal is not to manipulate every woman into attraction. The goal is to become the type of man whose presence naturally commands respect. From that place, you attract those who resonate and effortlessly filter out those who do not. As you continue operating from this mindset, you will notice a reduction in anxiety. Interactions become lighter. You stop overanalyzing every message. You stop replaying conversations in your head at night. You start trusting your own rhythm. That trust is powerful, and it sets the stage for something deeper than surface-level attraction. It prepares you for connection built on mutual respect rather than ego battles. When mutual respect enters the equation, the entire tone of your dating life changes. You are no longer trying to win psychological battles. You are no longer trying to outmaneuver her ego. You are simply standing firmly in your own identity and allowing the dynamic to unfold naturally. At this stage, something important becomes clear. The goal was never to break her ego in a destructive sense. The real objective is to dissolve the imbalance. An inflated ego survives on constant external validation. When you refuse to contribute to that inflation, two outcomes are possible. Either she adjusts and meets you on equal ground, or she drifts toward men who continue feeding it. Both outcomes work in your favor, because the wrong woman filtering herself out is a win. Many men hold on to interactions long past their expiration date because they are attached to potential. They see beauty and imagine compatibility. They experience chemistry and assume depth. But chemistry without respect leads to instability. Attraction without balance leads to power struggles. When you stop chasing validation and start evaluating alignment, your standards rise. You begin noticing traits beyond appearance. Is she kind? Is she consistent? Does she reciprocate effort? Does she respect boundaries? Does she add peace to your life or chaos? A woman with a high ego but low character will struggle to maintain interest when she realizes you are not easily impressed. She may escalate tests. She may attempt to provoke jealousy. She may withdraw attention to see if you panic. This is where your discipline is tested. You do not chase withdrawal. You do not reward inconsistency. You observe patterns over words. If her behavior aligns with interest, you proceed. If it does not, you gracefully step back. Walking away calmly is one of the strongest signals of self-respect a man can send. It communicates that your time is valuable and your standards are real. Not announced, not threatened, demonstrated. And here is the paradox. When you are genuinely willing to walk away, you often do not have to. Because most people are accustomed to men who cling. When you remain steady, when you do not overreact, when you are not rattled by minor fluctuations, you become psychologically rare. Rarity creates intrigue. Intrigue sustains attraction. But this only works if it is authentic. If you pretend to be detached while internally obsessing, your micro-expressions, your tone, your timing will betray you. True non-reactivity comes from inner security. And inner security comes from building a life you are proud of. You cannot skip that step. If you feel inadequate physically, work on your body. If you feel financially unstable, focus on your skills and income. If you feel socially awkward, practice conversations daily. Improvement is not about becoming perfect. It is about reducing the internal insecurities that cause overreaction. Because overreaction is usually rooted in fear. Fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. When you confront those fears directly, through growth, discipline, and self-honesty, you become less dependent on external approval. And the less dependent you are, the more attractive you appear. Women are highly attuned to emotional cues. They can sense when a man is trying to prove himself. They can sense when a man is seeking validation. They can sense when a man is comfortable regardless of outcome. Outcome independence is magnetic. It does not mean you do not care. It means your identity does not collapse if things do not work out. You enjoy the process without tying your self-worth to the result. Now imagine interacting from this place consistently. You approach calmly. You speak clearly. You maintain eye contact. You listen without trying to impress. You tease lightly without hostility. You set boundaries without anger. You express interest without desperation. If she reciprocates, the connection deepens naturally. If she does not, you withdraw attention without resentment. This is power without aggression. There is also something deeper happening beneath the surface. When you stop pedestalizing beauty, you begin seeing women more clearly. You notice insecurities behind arrogance. You notice softness behind confidence. You notice that ego is often a shield, not a throne. Some women project superiority because they are used to being valued only for appearance. When you interact with them as a whole person, without worship, without intimidation, you create space for authenticity. Sometimes that authenticity reveals compatibility. Sometimes it reveals incompatibility. Either way, you gain clarity. Clarity protects you from wasting time. Another key element is consistency. Many men can act confident for one interaction. Very few can sustain grounded behavior across weeks of dating. Eventually, unresolved insecurity leaks out. Jealousy appears. Over-texting begins. Subtle neediness returns. Sustainable confidence is built on habits. Daily discipline. Physical training. Goal pursuit. Emotional regulation. The stronger your habits, the less you rely on temporary motivation. You must become predictable in your self-control. If she praises you, you remain balanced. If she criticizes you, you remain balanced. If she pulls closer, you enjoy it. If she pulls away, you observe calmly. Emotional volatility destroys perceived status. Stability builds it. And remember this, attraction is not the final destination. Respect is. Attraction can spark quickly and fade quickly. Respect, once earned, stabilizes connection. Respect grows when you demonstrate boundaries, integrity, and self-command. When she sees that you stand by your word. When she sees that you do not bend under minor pressure. When she sees that you treat yourself with dignity. Dignity is quiet. It does not shout. It does not demand applause. It simply exists. As you integrate all of this, you will notice something unexpected. You stop obsessing over breaking her ego. The phrase itself becomes irrelevant, because the true transformation happened within you. You no longer need to defeat anyone. You no longer need to prove dominance. You no longer need to compete aggressively. You understand the marketplace. You respect your currency. You protect your attention. You hold your frame. You refuse to blink first. And because of that, interactions become simpler. You smile more genuinely. You laugh without calculation. You express interest without fear. You reject disrespect without drama. You accept rejection without collapse. This is liberation. The world will always contain women with inflated egos. Social media will continue feeding validation. Attention will remain abundant for the attractive. None of that needs to disturb you, because your value is not determined by her response. Your value is determined by how you carry yourself when faced with her response. If she sees you as beneath her, but you do not see yourself that way, the imbalance cannot survive. If she attempts to test your stability and finds no cracks, the hierarchy dissolves. If she expects easy validation and receives measured attention instead, curiosity replaces complacency. And if she chooses to walk away because you refuse to chase, you lose nothing. You preserved your standards. You preserved your self-respect. You preserved your emotional center. That is winning. Apply this consistently. Not once, not twice, every interaction. With waitresses, with colleagues, with strangers, with friends. Status is not situational. It is habitual. Stand tall without arrogance. Speak calmly without hesitation. Invest selectively without fear. Withdraw gracefully without bitterness. In doing so, you transform from a man seeking approval into a man offering presence. And presence, grounded and unwavering, is far more powerful than ego ever will be.